intelligence techniques into environmental assessment. And luckily for me, I was able to meet Mr. Raymond Wong early this year at IAI conference in Italy at the bus station. Yes, at the bus station where we were both about to take a bus to the center, to the convention center for the conference. But we were delayed because of May 1 holidays, but we end up sharing a ride together. So from there, we have been having conversation on this. And he's CEO of the Odin Systems. I'm sure you might have seen the our website, and we're still going to share it, of course, to you also. So next, we're going to listen to the president opening remarks. That's the president of IAIA in Nigeria. We have Sue George from South Africa and other colleagues. But if we don't have the president on board, we might skip that session and move to the next point of call. Let us, President, are you online to just give us a opening charge? Maybe he's having some network issues. Let me try. All right. While we wait for the president of IAIA, do we have the president of IAIA of South Africa? She said she was on board, and she was on board. Maybe. Let's go ahead. I think the goodwill messages will come in later. So the presenter, as I said earlier, is Raymond Wong. He's the CEO of Odin Systems Limited. It's an innovative technology company which focuses on open, intuitive, and more importantly, cost-effective environmental process. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, Mr. Odin is the CEO of Odin Systems Limited, and he has been in the business of environmental assessment using digital tools for over 20 years across Asia and Europe. He has a strong exposure in multidisciplinary areas such as IT, spatial mapping, and recently AI. I'll allow him to speak more of what he does. This is the booth for Odin System. This is a booth for Odin System at IAI 2025 at Italy. His booth was very interactive to have a lot of information there. So at this point in time, I will need to hand over to Raymond to continue and pilot us, but I want to just check if Dr. Abbas has joined. Dr. Abbas, if you have joined, you can give us the opening remarks. If not, we might have it after Raymond have made his presentation. Okay, I think we might just have to hand over to Raymond. So Raymond, over to you. Please
Yep.
Go ahead and share your screen and speak to us as the topic permits. I'll stop sharing now so that you can go ahead.
Yep. So let me see if I can share my screen. Right. Okay, so you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
And also he. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks. So first of all, morning. So the friends of Africa, yeah, haven't been to there, but nice to see you guys over the internet, right? Okay. So I hope you will find this presentation useful and interesting. So actually, beside myself, my colleagues in UK had also joined as well. He is in the same time zone like yours. Okay, right. So today I'm going to talk about the use of. Today I'm going to talk about the use of artificial intelligence approach to enhance the impact assessment process. So I think these days when people talk about AI, they all got very excited. Wow, AI do all the work for me, right? So I can sit back, relax, okay, and go to the beach. I mean, whatever, right? But take a look again at the title here. Artificial intelligence to enhance impact assessment process. So before you can go on to do AI, you must have a digital impact process first, right? So if nothing got digital, you can't get any good thing out of AI, right? So don't jump too far ahead, right? But anyway, no worry. The agenda today, before we talk about the AI in the second point, we will talk about how are you going to establish your data first, the digital version first, right? And we will talk about some rapid way and also best practices for you to set up an environmental database first, right? Before you can apply AI upon that to be effective, right? And what we are talking about is a best practice and award-winning environmental database concept from IIA, right? And then lastly, all the impact assessment process is to make it simple for people to understand, right? And it should be in sort of like a very intuitive way. It's not power paper. Okay, but before I talk about it, let me give a little bit of background of our company. So Oden, what does that mean? So we basically we are a technology company. We focus on open technologies and we make things digital, right? Paper workflow in the digital. And then we also focus on the environmental industry, the eco industry, together with a network, right? So we're basically based in Hong Kong. So with this sort of setup, but we also got people in UK as well as Ireland, right? So this is how we deal with the Asian and Europe business, right? So essentially, we are here to transform environmental planning into insight, right? So this is what we're about, right? So we are basically a technology company with over 15 years of environmental industry experience, right? It's not like ordinary technology companies. So the reality is, I mean, this is the situations we face every day, right? But when we have to go for the environmental impact assessment, we need people, we need costs, we need money to build that, right? And we also need time because the process is very long-winded. And at the end of the day, you got a lot of paper here, report, and the data is also contained in the CD-ROM, etc., with a lot of software you have to deal with, right? So this is the current situations, full of manual process. And at the end of the day, you only got paper, which is difficult to read, right? So how are we gone from this into the future with the visions? So there's a report from IEMA UK. Basically, what it said is technology today is moving very fast, right? Then how are you going to like how are you going to well, it's important that you take stock of what you learn. So in here is a summary of what this report, the Impact Assessment Outlook General, is about. Basically, they have interviewed or asked many people within the industry to find out how and what the important element to be, well, towards building a digital EIA, i.e. making the AI process a bit more digital. So they have come up with like 7 components that is required for a digital EIA. Basically, it's talk about an automatic screening for the project or study, and also assisted scoping. And then you also have to set up a national environmental data hub. And then you have to go for the digital EIA workflow, do the impact assessment ecosystem, and then also to make your environmental assessment statement more interactive, and also to do the post monitoring. So this is kind of thing people wanted to do to go for digital EIA. So this is all good. But in the reality, when we come to adopt the technology to do our work, there's a lot of challenge. This is interesting. This is a case study from Gartner, from 3 author, saying that if you want to go for digital and you want to take up the technology, there's still a lot of challenge or barrier behind that. There's a 27 item for it. Although it's talking about the circular economy, but it's quite similar to what environmental been facing, like the lack of technical skill, a high implementation cost, and then there's also security issues, and there's also a lack of people with enough skill, and then you have to buy the software, etc., blah, 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 etc. Right. So with the vision to go for digital, and also the barrier we have encountered today, so that come to our agenda today. For example, if we are to set up an environmental database, so we will talk about some free approach, i.e. to do some free software or freeware to rapidly set up the database so that you can start with the data first, and then you can apply AI to it. For example, if you got the result, could AI generate a project profile for me automatically, right? So in other words, you don't necessarily need people with very high skill or a consultant to do it. I mean, the AI could do or draft something for you. So we will look into 3 aspects. One is the result from the open environmental database. The second thing is if you don't have map, and if you only have a textual database, then how are you going to do it? And then we will also touch on some use of AI for 7 round-the-clock and all-weather ecological monitoring using the bird as an example. Finally, we will also overview some visual and intuitive approach to allow you to review the EIA data you've been given or report, something like that. So hopefully the takeaway for today is, for number 1, it will solve these issues. For this topic, basically, it will solve these issues, right? So firstly, let's see how we can set up an environmental database or website in a simple, easy way. I guess the first thing is, well, this is the tools. Quantum GIS, this is a free or open source tool, meaning you don't have to buy it, right? It's been available for a while. And in the coming demonstration or video recording, we will show you how that could be used to allow you to create your own data in a simple and cost-effective way. So for example, if I go to create an environmental database, right, for example, what if I don't have digital data? I only got a report, a paper, PowerPoint, or PDF. How am I going to do it? Right. So this is how. For example, I got a report from the consultant, and here's the map. and I want to add it into my environmental database. So firstly, you can simply do a screenshot like that. And then we can use the QGIS software. So this is the QGIS free open source tools that allow you to set up or import the images you have just captured and then put it into where it is and then digitize it so that you can get your digital data, right? The process is not too complicated, but at least the tool itself is free. So you see here, this is the images we just captured. And then on top of it, you just define the name of it and then give it a coordinate system, right? And then also to define the symbology, color, etc. And then you go on to do the digitization. Tick, 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 tick. And that's it. Then you have digital data. I mean, if you got other things, then you can simply cut it and do it this way, right? So this is the situations where if you don't have digital data and you need to create one, then you can use the QGIS for it. So the second thing is, if there are data available from the web, okay, or that could be available from other party, your colleague, etc., then how are you going to prepare them so that it could be import into the environmental database, right? The open environmental data, this is a freeware, meaning you don't need to buy it. There's no software license involved with it. So when you downloaded it, then you can go through some of the user interface provided by the open eco database to import that into it. So let's play that. So let's see. For example, in this example, we just try to search for a layer from a website, which is now available or been published by a different organization or government, etc. Then once I find it, right, I just download it, and then you can choose the format. So for the open eco database, it supports shapefile and also the industrial standard JSON. And then in here, we will import that into the QGIS open source tool as well, basically to look at what it is, to check whether the topology is correct. I mean, this is the layer we have just downloaded from the web. And then we'll just put it into here, make sure that it's in the right form. And now this is the open environmental database freeware. You see the interface is different. It's fully web-based. And then we can simply upload that layers into here. And if you have many layers to upload, then you can reveal that. So this is the layer you can upload into the website. So the open environmental database, it got all the functions here, allowing you to set up things like that, the layers, the symbology, etc. Right. So this is, although it's look a little bit complicated, but later on, we will have a graphical interface, allowing you to make that a little bit more simple. But what it did here is basically to define the color, etc., for that layer to appear on the map. We can move a little bit faster, right? See, once you've done that, you can have a layer here. So you can configure it, you can upload it, right? And then you can set the color, etc. So this is already a map, right? So this is the layer we have just import. And here are the functions that are already available within that OED website, a freeware, right? So just now we see how we can create the data, how we can upload it, right? Then how about if you want to create your own database, for example, for Nigeria, for South Africa. So if you want to change the logo, your logo, change the color, etc. So the OED also allows you to do that, right? So this example, right? You basically download the OED and then set it up in your environment, and then you can have a website. And then it comes with the functions, for example, like here, you can import the data into that. Again, we will do some tidying for the color, etc. Now you got your own logo and name, and then you can also change the theme to different color to suit your needs. So now you got a website to share among your organizations, more group, etc. And people could use it to search for the data layer or download it or do some analysis, etc. Something like that, right? So hopefully that's not too difficult. So you have a free GIS software, and you got also a freeware to help you to set up the database, right? Now we come to the AI part. So in here, we will see how you could apply the AI to the environmental database. So in here, I hope this is familiar. This is the environmental database of Hong Kong, which we have established with the same technology framework or tools of OED, right? So in here, you can do screening and scoping, and it will also give you a report for the screening and scoping result. For example, if you have to build something in here, then once you draw a buffer, it will search for you all the environmental layers that's worth attention. And then you can generate this Excel report. With that Excel report, you can apply AI to generate a project profile for you. In other words, once you got the result, once you try different options, then you can generate a project profile by that. So let me see. Let's see this riddle. So for example, this is something we want to build. We draw a buffer, and then it will highlight all the important area here, the environmental component, and then we will give you a title. And then there's a button here. When you click it, then it will apply the OpenAI technology to generate the project profile document for you. So this document is not draft by people, but by machines. And based on that, I mean, you have a draft, and then you can sort of like tidy that or fine-tune it. So what it does is you search for all the available website or the government website to put the content into here, as well as the element that need to be considered during this process. So this is how AI could be applied in this case. And then we can look into another case. So if you don't have a map, but you have a textual database, so this situation is, this is the knowledge base and database that is set up also using the open source technologies like MediaWiki. So MediaWiki is the open source tool behind the Wikipedia, right? So our client has set up a knowledge base based on MediaWiki, and they put a lot of information into that so that the information could share among all their colleagues as a knowledge, so that you don't always need a very experienced consultant or colleague sitting next to you. They can always ask the knowledge base for answers. So in that situations, we can use AI to generate the content for you. So in the past, the contents need to be created by some colleagues with experience, for example, in the noise, in this particular case. But then AI could sort of like search for the knowledge base for all the information here, and then it will generate the content for you. And then you can also generate the dashboard and also the chart for you to see things clearly. Let's see how it works then. So for example, if I want to add something from the knowledge database, so it will help me find the answers and then also compile a document like that. out of the knowledge base. So if I have to compile a guideline, for example, for setting some noise barrier, then it will try to search for all the pulpit NOC guideline and all the related literatures from the knowledge base, and then compile a report for you. Should it be a report to the government as a recommendation, something like that, right? And then it will also put together all the relevant drawings and result that were stored within the knowledge database, right? So the AI behind that is what we call the N8N and then OpenAI, something like that, right? Okay, so this is the report and also the dashboard that was generated by AI for you to review or to do further touch-up. Right, so once you have that, you can still ask the AI to give you a dashboard. You simply type something and then the AI will interact with you. Okay. And then give you a dashboard, something like that. So this is how AI could be applied, not from some spatial or GIS data, but on some textual database. And next, we will see another example. Hopefully, that will be a little bit more interesting because this is ecological monitoring case. And we use the bird detection as an example. So this device is actually an AI device that was put on the site. And it used the sound and also the image and also the video to capture the bird. So once you find the bird, then AI will try to determine what bird it is. And then you'll be able to monitor or observe the bird round the clock, 7/24, and also all weather. So this is something a human observer cannot do, right? Human observer cannot go out to observe the species at night or during some windy or hesitant weather, something like that, right? So we can see here. So this is actually a wetland park in Hong Kong. You see, so these distribution of birds were actually detected by AI during different time of a day. And then when we click on it, then we can see what it is. And then we can also capture the images and also the video. For example, the bird here, it got captured by AI with its name and also the probability, right? And then this is another example, right? Our monitoring device, this one, is installed here, right? And then we can check out what sort of bird does it detect automatically. So you see there's a lot of birds got detected in different time period. And this is how they look. And this is how the sound is. So for this one, it's 93% probability, right? So, and when we can also look at the video. So a flying bird being captured by AI, right? Another thing, a small bird got detected here and here, right? And then we can also generate a report. Okay, so that report will summarize for you all the occurrence of bird in different time period of 10 minutes and who they are and how many of them. And then we try to compare whether it's an endangered bird or what, and then also give it a scientific name of the bird, right? And you can also generate some sort of like dashboard to see what sort of bird do you detected each day. And then you can see different habitat and occurrence of bird by using a chart like that. So this is a daily overview. But if you want to go for a weekly one, so this is the weekly statistic of bird visiting the subject area, right? And this is the distribution and how many birds there are. So we've been using it to track the bird now in Hong Kong, right? So this is some of the area where AI could be applied to make our life a bit more easier, upon the database that we have set up. Now, when we all have that, we can perhaps look into how we could also make it simple to visualize the result, right? So in this case here, so quite often we are being given report or have hard copy available for the report, but how does that mean to you? Okay, so if we want to see or do something out of the report we've been created, and this is how you can create and convert your project site from a report you're given. So maybe I can show it to you. Yeah. So this is the report you are given by your consultant or whatever. And this is the chart you are given, right? So firstly, I can create a project myself. So this is completely web-based things. So you can do it anywhere on trip or in different country, etc. So once you have created a project, right, I can jump into it. And then I come back to the report. This is the PDF. So again, I do a screenshot of that report, right? And then I will try to create that project site so that I can visualize it in a more intuitive and realistic way, right? So this is the image we have captured, right? So firstly, we have to put it into Reddit first. So we will go through a GIS process called georeferencing. And although the term is quite technical, the process could be as simple as clicking this point and then the corresponding point in the map. So once you got 4 points, the map could be located into where it is, right? And then we can change the transparency to make it a bit more simple. And then I can draw on it. So this is my project site, right? So now I can see it in a more intuitive way than just a report, right? With all the background and whatnot. So this is how you can create your project in a visual way so that you can carry on to review the surrounding, right? Now, again, if I have some assessment result available, so should it be noise, air, risk control, or other things, air ventilation, etc. Again, they are available in the report, hard copy, paper. Then how am I going to put all the assessment results together on my site so that I can review them all together instead of having them reviewed in different paper, PDF, etc. So we can show you how. So this is the project we have just created. You see, we can have a buffer around it. And then we can perform an inference analysis. So with that 3-kilometer buffer, we can quickly do a screening and scoping exercise. And in this dialog here, you can see all the environmental elements surrounding 3 kilometers of the site will got picked up here, right? So it will give you the name of it, the area, and then the distance, etc. If you got people living in here, it will also list out the populations. So right now, we have do an online assessment. And then we can also do a comparison. So this is before and after. We can also review the site like this. So this is before the site was built. This is before the site was built. This is after the site was built. So you can compare, I mean, the before and after things. So that could be useful to compare options or to present it to people who might not have the environmental background like we are, right? So this is how you can see the result. And then we can also go to here. So somehow if you want to make it more interesting, and then you want to tell people your projects, how they look like, then perhaps we can use the VR. Something like that. People will put goggles here and then look at the site. I mean, the process to create it is not difficult. Basically, you will set up the viewpoint and then name it. And then you can share it to your people. And then what happened is, after that, see, your project can now be viewed by many other people in an immersive way. Well, you put a goggle in, and then the user experience is not like looking it from a web, right? So this is what you can see inside that VR gear, right? Something like that. Okay. So this is how you can visualize it. Surely you can do a bit more for that. For example, for example, if you don't have somebody to create a 3D model for you, we have a library for you to sort of do something like that. So you can simply play around or set up your site with all the components here, right? In a very intuitive way. So it's not very high skill things, right? You can drag another model into that, things like that. So you don't have to be a super, well, you don't have to spend much money or require very high knowledge in 3D modeling. And then you can do something like that. And then you can also do things like that, perform a simple impact assessment. Let's say if I want to build a power plant here, I can search out for all the affected area, right? So this is also something you can do, right? In a very realistic way, right? Okay, and then you can also check for you, perform a simple screening and scoping, and then pick up all the element required for assessment into here, right? So this is a simply tool to let you do a very quick screening and scoping process, right? And then we can also look at other things like shadowing things. So for example, once I build something like that, I can simulate the shadowing to see whether the orientations of my development is good enough, right? So we have a Google model here. We just demolish it and then put a new building here. And then we can simulate the sunlight and shadow. So for area where it's not exposed to the sunlight, meaning you might not need to use that many air conditioning to control the temperature. And then you can also simulate some, well, weather conditions. Right. Yeah. Things like that. Or if you want to see the air ventilations, we can calculate it on the fly, like here. So this is the building we have put in. And then we can define the directions, wind intensity, etc. And then the air ventilations will generate for you. And then it will also be displayed in different color so that you can know the density and the velocity of the wind. So this sort of tool is useful for you to play around with different options. And then that let you see the result immediately so that you can, well, work on different modules. And this is another example of like creating the result or putting the result onto a project for you to visualize it. So again, I got a report for noise assessment. I just captured the images. and then put the images, do a georeferencing here, and then I can put the images here. So that way, I can see the impact immediately, right, without reading the report. So without asking the consultant to evaluate the impact on site. So if I got a map here with the noise contour, if I happen to live here, then I know I'm going to be affected by noise level, blah, 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 something like that. Okay. And this one will also be interesting. So far, we see a lot of like a 3D model from Google or whatever. So if there's no Google 3D model available for your area, no worry. We can fly a drone, okay? And then the drone will capture the photo and make it into a 3D model, should it be point cloud or mesh model. And we can also have it import into here. We got the tools for you to upload it into here, right? So this is the point cloud model, right? And then immediately you got a 3D model to work on, right? Something like that. So if you use a drone to fly, you fly a drone to it, then it will probably take you an hour, and then the processing, and then you have a model like that, and then you can carry on for the rest of the workflow, right? Okay, something like that. So you see, things could be really visualized, right? Okay, so I think that's it for my presentation today. I mean, basically, we go through the rapid way to set up an environmental database. Well, upon it, you can apply the AI on top of it. And then you can also have a very realistic or visual way to see the result. So with that, I can pass back to Eddie. Right.
Wow, Raymond, that was very, very exciting. I'm sure a whole lot of my colleagues, their minds are blown on the possibilities. It's not about being theoretical now. It's about seeing practical applications. And I think that is very, very helpful. At least you have expanded our mind. A lot of people might have technical difficulties in terms of understanding some concept, but once they see the videos and they see the picture, they get the point. So before I open up the mic for others to ask questions, please, in case you have not yet input your name, your location, and your email address in the comment section, kindly do that so that we can take note of it and also know those that we are in, because we could not take time to introduce everyone because of time constraint. We want to keep this as brief as possible so that next time we call on you, you'll be very, very glad to speak with us. Thank you very much, Raymond. Raymond, you might need to know that it's past 12 p.m. Raymond is already in Wednesday. I think Wednesday over there in Hong Kong, while we are still on Tuesday here in Nigeria and all some part of so you're already in the future. And it's good for you from the future to tell us what we need to get to know, because we are speaking to you now in the future, and it's power of technology. I believe you have some colleagues from UK. Maybe you can call them out to introduce themselves and say one or two words before we open the mic, since they are already connected. Maybe Raymond, you can call in your colleagues from the UK that are on the call to also speak to us. Maybe in the next 2-3 minutes.
Okay, sure. I hope there's not too much information, well, for an hour, because yeah.
No,
if so, then I do apologize. Yeah.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. So the Raymond's colleagues from UK, if you have 2 minutes, you can just shout out, just unmute your mic and just speak to us, so we can acknowledge your presence. Or if not, we can just go ahead. Okay, I can see Dominic. Right. Let's go ahead. I can see Dominic Winner was about to speak with us, but let's go ahead. So if you have any question, please use the reaction board to raise your hands. so that we can call on you. If you have any questions or clarification or contribution on how well you have benefited from this, you can speak. But let me just call on Dr. Abbas Suleiman, the president of IAI Nigeria, in which we are using, we are sharing the platform. We are sharing platform from IAI Nigeria, IAI South Africa, IAI Ghana. So, Dr. Abbas, you can unmute your mic and maybe speak to us before we go on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Lawal. Thank you, Raymond, for this very exciting lecture. It has put, increased fears into our minds as to what AI can do. I know that back here in our own climb, we're still grappling with, data, data that we are sure are credible. And in a situation where you now have a machine language that can do virtually things that we consultants are supposed to be doing, there is this fear that our jobs might be at stake. But it's all a learning process. We can also see now that you require a lot of in-depth knowledge of applications and algorithms to be able to even use the AI. So it's a wake-up call and a clearing call for those of us in this practice to see how we can up our game. So we look forward to many more of this type of training and webinar, and we think we might have to reschedule and call you again for you to give us another run where we would see how we can increase participation. Thank you so much, Raymond. Yeah. Dr. Lawal.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No, do we have any other contributions or questions?
Sue, do
you have anything to say?
Hi. So I don't have a lot to say. I think Dominic wanted to make comments on the presentation or had some input to make. But I see he had to change. Dom, are you there?
Okay, Dominic, if you are there, we can unmute your mic.
No, I didn't have any further comments. I'm very interested to hear what is being spoken about in the context of potentially what we are going to be dealing with at the next IASA conference in Cape Town next year. But I'm just listening for the moment. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So just a brief recap of what we have been able to learn today. You spoke a lot about GIS and spatial layers using a QGIS and how well we can be able to do some database and some website upload using GIS software. Also, you spoke about AI content generation from existing knowledge and also the birth detection software that can be able to use to get detection of changes in the environment using maybe cameras and the rest of them all. So now, in terms of knowledge, needed technical knowledge. So what do you suggest should be the first point of call for a novice in digital assessment or AI to start with, in case if you want to get to understand, because this whole sector is highly technical. So where do you think we can start from so that can be easier for us to comprehend?
Right. So I think hopefully the informations here is not too much. Is it well? So and cause you lost direction. I think the key thing is what I'm trying to show is all the tools are now available, and there's also black practices behind it. Meaning, firstly, you don't necessarily have to spend many money on software costs. Firstly. And then secondly, you don't have to worry about whether the thing got built at the end because of the knowledge of the vendor or whatever. So what I'm trying to say is some of these tools, the black practice tools, have been available now and be able to do the work that has been demonstrated, right? So what next is, given the fact that you see the future or something that is achievable, then you have to think about how are you going to start it. For example, if you don't have digital data, so would the first step be set up one first? Or if you are into some intuitive way to see the report or present to people, then maybe you can jump into the visualization things. Or if you got data already, then you might have to consider whether the AI could help you to shortcut the process. So like with not too much people, then you can start with something to work on. But still, even though this things is available, it doesn't mean it's very simple now. You still have to go through some sort of like little hand holding, little training to make sure that you can master it, something like that. But what I'm saying is the barrier is much lower now. Remember that Gartner paper. You got 27 barriers to adopt the technologies. And if you see my presentations, I think most of the barriers have been resolved now with what I've shown you. But still there are barriers, but they're just a bit not that high now, right? This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Chifun, your hand is raised. You can unmute your mic and go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Raymond, thanks very much for this explosive session. I guess my question is around, do you have any workshops, any training packages for, you just mentioned hand-holding, right? How do we go about having that hand-holding session? Do you have any packages for workshops or free training on the YouTube where someone can really digest some of this information? Thank you.
Yeah, good question. So this is what we are trying to do next. So if you check our website, we got some video tutorial to assist people who have certain knowledge of it. But if you want more hand-holding, we've been thinking about organizing some sort of like a workshop. Some could be free, some could be paid, whatever, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we'll still follow up with this. I'm sure some organizations around Africa will be willing to partner with you to have this training, because I feel that all these topics you introduced to us, if we take them one after the other concertedly, I think it will help a lot. Iris, your hand is up. Please unmute your mic and you can ask your question. Iris? Iris, are you still there?
Or maybe she need to unmute. Yeah, unmute.
Yeah, you need to unmute your mic.
Unmute first, yeah.
Okay. I think she can't hear us. I guess it's network. So we are still going to follow up, as the director has said. So on this lecture. Okay, Iris is unmuted. Iris, if you are unmuted, you can speak.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Hi, Iris. How are you?
Thanks so much for the presentation. It's really, really exciting to see what this tool can do. And especially, I was interested in how it does a lot of things very remotely. What I just like to find out is, will you make this app available for us to start, testing it in our own areas and to see what kind of data we need to prepare in order to be interpreted through this app. And then, of course, supporting the previous speaker that asked for workshops as well. Thanks.
Okay. Yep, sure. I can share the website to Adi. Basically, for the Open Eco database, is basically you can download it. I mean, as long as it waits a request for it, you can download it. And then there's also instructions for you to set it up yourself if you got little bits of skill. But if you need some help, either support or you want to engage a training to assist you or us to assist you, then this is possible. And also for the 3D tools, with your request, well, firstly, you have to register for the website and then you can raise a request, then we can give you some trial account so that you can field it yourself, how simple and how difficult it is, right? Something like that, yeah. Because we already got site set up, demo site set up, or sandbox site set up for Europe, Middle East, and also Asia, right? Covering almost 30 countries now, right? We can set up maybe another one for Africa, I don't know, yeah.
Yes, thank you. That would be great to have a sandbox just to go in and then to sort of see.
Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, you have to field it yourself, right? Try to play around with it. We got the tools here already. Okay, so.
Thank you. Okay. That's great.
All right, thank you very much. I think that is all we could get for now. I was trying to copy the link, the Odin link, and the link for the free trial, and drop on the comment section. But I'm sure when I'm done, once I can do that, I'll do that. I'll drop it. But Raymond, you can feel free to do that. My system is already hanging because of the network. To drop the link. You sent me a link for the free trial versions and some other links. So we can also drop that. Okay. Yeah. So I think we'll just put a wrap to this session right now. We have gotten a whole lot of your data, and I'll just give some few announcements with regards to upcoming activities, IAI activities, and AEIN conferences for those within Nigeria and Africa, so that we can continue this conversation. You can, I'm sharing my screen right now so that you can see some resources, because we'll still be having more of these webinars until we can be able to do a concerted training. So you can snap this Google form, and we'll get your details so that we can be able to follow up with you, so you can be within our database. We have an IAI African forum where we are looking forward to see how we can enhance IAI practice within Africa, and also ensure that we get a whole lot of sponsorship and scholarship to and grants to attend IAI. So I'm sure Raymond and the audience system will be very, very glad, very, very happy to give us some slots so that you can sponsor one or two of us to IAI in Canada come next year, or some tons for some trainings. I'm sure that we'll be very glad to receive that. Also, we have, this is it. The Nigeria, the Association of Environmental Impact of Nigeria, that is the IAI Nigeria, has its 9th annual conference coming up on the 10th to 12th of December in Lagos. You can also scan the QR code to register. That's if you're in Nigeria or you want to join online to see how it's been done. IAI South Africa just finished their conference about 2 months ago. We joined online, and it was very, very awesome. And Nigeria IAI, this is preparation towards the main IAI program. So IAI 2026 will be in Quebec in May 2026, and the registration is still on up until 29th of April. So you can take advantage of the early bird and register. And if you're a student, you can register at the subsidized rate. Also, we are still looking out to see if we can speak to IAI to subsidize rates for us in Africa, because the exchange rate over this amount it discourages a whole lot of participation to IAI. And for student training course waiver, they are there. I took in this early this year. I was able to get a student training course waiver for one of the courses. I think it's something that we can benefit from. And for IAI members, there is currently the board of directors election, and Sue is part of those that are contesting. And Sue George, yeah, this is Sue George. Sue George is contesting for the post of director, and I'm sure once she is able to get to that board, she'll be able to speak on our behalf for them to reduce some rates in terms of training rate and IAI conference rate. I'm sure Sue will be able to speak on our behalf. So these are the contestants for president-elect from Canada, and they're from Canada also. These are two for the position A, title A. We have Felicitia from Uganda and Canada, and also Sue George from South Africa. Director B, we have from Venezuela, Sarah, and Zong Yung from Hong Kong. I think this is from Raymond's country. So those are contestants. So avail yourself with all this information, and also follow us with these and sign up on this form so that we can be able to get your information. We should be having follow-up classes. So Raymond, I'll still be on your mail and your DM to still keep talking on how we can continue this conversation that we have started, and I'm sure that we'll get it done out with. So at this point, I'll just ask for closing remarks or vote of thanks. Who is going to give a vote of thanks? I think I should just throw it open. Is anybody from Ghana? Do we have anybody from Ghana? If we have anybody from Ghana, our closest neighbors, you can give us a closing remark. If not,
just remember.
okay. Okay, I think we can just draw the curtains from this point in time. Sue, do you want to say anything before we go ahead and call it a day?
Thank you very much. It's been a great session, and thank you all of you for joining. There's a number of people from South Africa on the line, and welcome to you all. Thank you for supporting the African Collaboration Initiative. We really look forward to growing the African continent and to actually getting some traction for Africa on the board. So, yeah. And thank you very much to Raymond for an excellent presentation. I think it certainly whetted everyone's appetites in terms of what can be done with AI. So we look forward to future collaborations with you, and I'm sure everyone will be contacting you and getting into that sandbox and having a go at what's actually happening. It's exciting. It's the future. We need to be there. Thank you, Ade.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sue. Thank you very much, everyone from South Africa. Raymond, any last word?
So Ade, I will send the information to you. And Sue, good luck to your elections.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And
Thanks,
have a
Raymond.
lovely evening. And we'll see you some other time. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, see you. See you. Bye.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Bye.